Hello, my name is Aidan and welcome to another Golf Predictor video tutorial. In this video I shall talk about a very useful feature for fantasy golfers, and that's the player history page. You do that by going to the results menu and selecting the last option, the player history option. And if you do that, you'll be brought to the following page, which as usual I preloaded in a separate tab. This page shows you for your selected season and your selected tour all the players that have played at least 15 tournaments up to the current week on that particular tour. 15 was decided as the cutoff point because it will leave out sponsors' invites, amateurs and other occasional players, and allows us to focus our processing just on the players you are interested in. That is, the regular players on tour. So we'll just pick a golfer that's more familiar than the first one there alphabetically, which is Brad Adomas, I think. Not quite sure of the pronunciation. So we'll go say to Jason Day, who's really hot right now, and see his tournament record. So Jason Day, the page will reload. And here we see Jason Day's record in all tournaments on the US Tour. Okay, so it's page, so you can go to page 2 to see the more recent ones. So you can see at a glance the tournaments that Jason Day usually does well or does badly at. For example, you can see that the US Open down here at the bottom is one he's done very well on in 4 of the last 5 years. Again, if you hover over any result, you can see more details on the tournament, such as you can see there for the 2015 US Open. Okay, so another one that he does quite well on is the Farmers Insurance Open, which he won this year and finished in the top 10 in the 2 previous years, also quite good. But you can also see the tournaments that he does quite bad in usually, such as the Northern Trust Open, the Valero Texas Open, and more recently the Shell Houston Open. The last 2 times he was there, he hasn't played very well. Also the Players Championship, you can see there, he's only had 1 good result there. And the Memorial, another one, which is his local tournament, given that he lives in Ohio, he hasn't done very well on that one either. So you can see it is no coincidence that the tournaments that he tends to do badly at, by and large, he has stopped playing in, and he's focused on the tournaments that he tends to do well in. And that's generally the case for all the top golfers. The exception out of that would be the WGCs. You can see there the Cadillac Championship. He doesn't do particularly well in that tournament either, but since it's such a big event, he has to turn up. And of course, the Memorial is Jack's tournament, so most pros turn up to that out of deference to Jack Nicklaus. So we'll just look at the second page of his results. You can see the more up-to-date ones. So that will load up and see here. Of course, the last tournament, we're now currently in the week off between the Deutsche Bank Championship and the next leg of the FedEx Cup, which is the BMW Championship. So you can see Jason Day finished 12th last week. He had a fairly decent record in the Deutsche Bank. He's got a good record in the Barclays. Of course, he won it last week and finished second the year before. And similarly, you can see his record in other ones, such as his Open Championship, which wasn't great until this year. So you can see how you can use this page to spot which tournaments the golfer does well in and which tournaments the golfer does badly in. And you can use that, as we go back to the first page, you can use that to decide on your fantasy golf strategy. If you've got in a fantasy golf competition where you can only use the same golfer once or maybe 3 times per year, it's very important that you try to maximize his usage, especially if he's one of the top guys. So using this page will really help you identify which tournaments the golfer does very well at and which tournaments the golfer tends to do badly at. I should note as well at this stage that if you are not a subscriber to Golf Predictor, you will only be able to see the golfer's record for the first 3 matching events. So I would encourage you to think about subscribing to Golf Predictor to get the most out of this great page. Another point is you can only sort the data table by the week number or the tournament columns. In each case, you only see the tournament results for the first 3 tournaments in the list. I should have mentioned earlier on that the tournament results are actually color coded, as you can see there. The key to the color code is shown above the data table, where red means the golfer has won that particular tournament, yellow means either top 10, blue miscut, and brown means non-finish, such as a withdrawal or disqualification, and so on. So at a glance, you can look at the table there and see what the golfer's performance was. So for example, yellows are good, reds are very good, blues are bad. So you can see that the Valspar isn't very good, neither is the Northern Trust Open, whereas the Pebble Beach Pro-Am is pretty good, Farmers Insurance is pretty good, and the Hyundai Tournament Champions is good on the years he has played it. So that's very useful color coding. I should have also pointed out that if you hover over the tournament name in the second column from the left, you get more information. For example, you see here you get a synopsis of the golfer's results that are displayed in the rightmost columns. So you can see in the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, he's had no wins, 3 other top 10s, no missed cuts, no non-finishes, and in those 6 matching events. So if you want to get a brief synopsis of the tournament results for a particular tournament, just hover over the name like so. Okay, well I hope you can see how this is a very useful page for your fantasy golf or indeed your DFS golf needs. Well, that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.